So in Israel today, the Haredim, the ultra-Orthodox Jews, are basically supported by government welfare. They don't tend to develop a profession. They don't develop job skills that will enable them to make a good living in the wider world. And this is opposed to the traditional Jewish teaching, which comes from the Talmud, that every man must teach his son a profession. Now the Stipler, the Haredi leader in Israel, last part of the 20th century, he rejects this. He says all these passages in the Talmud that speak about the dignity of work and not surviving on charity, these are only stated with a reference to someone who has to make a living. And if you can be supported while studying Torah, then all you should do is study Torah. So in other words, according to Stipler, there's no value in work. I'm getting this from a great lecture by Professor Mark B. Shapiro. Stipler saying there's no dignity of work. It's something you do if you can't be supported by someone else. And that's why the Haredi world is closed to any kind of trade schools and vocational training. Now this has started to open up in the last few years, but this is done in opposition to the Haredi leadership. The masses have been demanding it. Mark Shapiro makes the point, you'll see in 30 years that this will be standard in the Haredi world, and this will be the new Das Torah. Das Torah means the teachings of the rabbis. So when Agudat Yisrael writes a new history, they'll write about how the Gedolim, the great Haredi Torah sages, recognize the necessity of earning a living, and they are at the forefront of establishing these training schools and vocational schools. And 30 years from now, you'll hear that the great rabbis were at the forefront of stopping sexual abuse of children. They saw how dangerous it was, and they were at the forefront of ensuring that all these sexual abusers were removed from the yeshiva so they couldn't harm the children. When in fact the story is the opposite. The movement to shut down rabbis who are sexual abusers has come from the masses, and the great rabbis of our time have just kind of shuffled these abusers through the system rather than stopping it.